Oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person?
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene is alongside, and it is a football Friday here in the Sportsocracy. We are in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Last night, Thursday night football, Tampa Bay.
Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
You get one of those.
Oh, just barely beat the Philadelphia Eagles. That game was never in question.
I never doubted. And here's the thing. In stereotypical Buccaneers fashion, you fucked me on the cover.
Of course.
Thanks, Tom, you dick. But you go eat another avocado ice cream and score!
They got inside the 10-yard line, first and goal at the 2-minute warning, and I went, oh no, I know how this is going to end. And it's a 7-point spread. And they just went for 2 for some goddamn reason. What?
Yeah, because Nick Sirianni's an asshat. That's why.
Oh my God.
Because he doesn't want me to have fun.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want Eagles fans to have fun.
So bad.
I would hate him with such an undying passion if his team wasn't literally irrelevant to me. If I was an Eagles fan, I would have a picture of him on my dartboard just throwing things at it.
Right.
Because he might if it wasn't for Urban Meyer, he might be the worst coach I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, Bucks took their foot off the gas, and somehow Jalen Hurts, being a bad quarterback, got his team to score 3 touchdowns. That was the big thing that I took away from last night, was the big chunk plays that they had were on pass interference because Jalen Hurts can't get his wide receivers the ball. And I'm not making excuses for the cornerbacks at Tampa Bay. They are awful. They suck something terrible.
They suck something terrible. And do you know how many yards Jalen Hurts threw for last night?
119 or something?
I think it was 112.
Yeah. It was
115.
Yeah.
We split the difference.
Yeah.
Against the worst secondary I think I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Can we stop with Jalen Hurts? Like,
Please.
I understand that you want him to be a thing, and that's so cute to me that you do. And you know what I want to be a thing? 3-way Thursdays and free cookie Fridays, and I want all of those things to be a thing, but
right.
They're not.
No,
and neither is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, he's very, very bad. Just not overthrow. He didn't overthrow a single damn receiver all night. He underthrew all of them.
Chuck G said, "Don't forget about Rich Kotite." Here's what I'll say about Rich Kotite: he had a lack of talent. He also had a lack of intelligence. Nick Sirianni does not have a lack of talent. Mm-hmm. He has if I didn't know him better, I would think that Miles Sanders walked in every morning and swirled his dick in Nick Sirianni's coffee, because that is the only explanation I have for. Yeah. He just looks at him and goes, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Maybe they have a text thread like Jared Goff had.
I was reading one of the recaps of the game this morning, and there was what I'm guessing is a Philadelphia-leaning reporter trying to make it sound like, oh, well, Miles Sanders only ran for 56 yards. On 9 carries.
Yeah, he averaged 6 yards a carry against the best run defense in the league.
Yeah.
Stephen Westbrooks, we're like an AA meeting for sports.
What's up, Stephen?
Hi, Stephen. I'm going to figure out what. That's where my hand goes. Hi.
Yeah. Can't put mine
No,
over there.
don't put your hand in my camera. Don't put your hand in my anything, frankly. It freaks me out. He said Richard Sherman is so washed. Dude can't even stay on the field and gets hurt instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That to me, that was largely predictable. When you got real excited about Richard Sherman, I went, why? Why are you
better
excited
than Ross Cockrell?
Well, I don't dispute that, but you know who else would be better than Ross Cockrell? Trey Flowers, who's actually a legitimate corner in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you didn't have a chance at him because the Bengals claimed him, but still, I mean, there are a lot of corners out there, and Richard Sherman was never one of the ones I went, hey, he should play for a team. And I'm not even going to get into the fact you took John Gruden out of your Ring of Honor and went, Richard Sherman, Antonio Brown, Warren Sapp, you're all fine. So that's good. By the way, I swore to myself I was going to make sure I said this. If I hear one more person say, John Gruden won with Tony Dungy's players, do you realize how stupid that is? Or do people just say that to piss people like me off? He won with it. Yeah, that's actually verbatim the point.
Yeah.
He won with the exact same team. I get that you don't like him. That's fine. Tony Dungy, top 5 most overrated coaches of all time.
Stop that.
And you love, and I love him. You love him. I think he's a great analyst. Was not a great coach. Let me rephrase that. He was not a great playoff coach. He was a great coach.
Yeah.
Just wasn't very good in playoffs.
Yeah. Well,
I'm really going to need Bang to get a swift dose of Act Right and put the little top on the side so when I drink this, you can see what it is.
they're not a sponsor. You don't have to do that. It's fine.
They will be if I keep drinking them on camera.
God, I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, no.
I have the perfect marketing campaign.
Yeah,
all they have to do is message me back.
Last night's game to me was very infuriating. Of just why take your foot off the gas?
Watching that entire game to me was a lot like watching. It's like going to a bar with your friend that has a lot of money, but he looks like that.
Yep.
And he starts buying drinks for a girl, and you're like, oh, that's cute. You think that this is going to work for you. And then she goes home, like, bye. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was the Philadelphia Eagles last night. Oh, you keep doing this thinking that there's a possibility you're going to win this game.
Right.
No, the hell you're not.
And the taunting penalty. Did you have a major problem with the taunting penalty?
I have a major problem with every taunting penalty.
I mean, I
You want
get
me to
that.
tell you when taunting should be flagged?
Yeah.
When you walk over somebody and just give the old teabaggers right on the grill of their helmet.
That's when the taunting.
That I'll throw taunting on.
Yeah.
If you look at somebody after doing something productive and go, listen, little bitch, I don't care. Like that doesn't. This is where John Mara and I have a great difference of opinion. Mm-hmm. I don't know any legitimate NFL fan that watches that and goes, oh, they're ruining the game. You know what's ruining the game? The fact you're officiating is god-awful, and it's god-awful at every level in every game. I don't think I've watched a game all year where I didn't at some point go, good hell, these officials are bad.
Yeah.
You want to fix the game? Fix that. Because that's a legitimate problem.
Yeah.
Taunting is a made-up problem.
Yeah.
Oh, he said mean things. You voted for Biden, didn't you? Damn it. That's good.
I find it hilarious, all of the people that, oh, that shouldn't have been a taunting penalty. That was more of a taunting penalty than any of the ones I've seen thrown so far this year.
Yep, and you know what they all have in common?
Oh, sure.
They're all stupid.
I completely agree with you. However, no, it did not. It did not swing the game. Please stop it with that. You scored a touchdown. You made the game close. You gave Tom Brady 5 minutes. What do you think was going to happen?
He's going to bleed the clock out and not score because he's
unfortunately because he's an asshole. He doesn't believe in covering the spread. Dick. 28-22, Tampa Bay wins over the Philadelphia Eagles. Kicks off the week pretty well. Now I don't have to worry about anything on Sunday, but my fantasy teams.
And, doing a show.
Well, I mean, that, yeah,
and giving the people all of the advice.
Well, I mean, we give the people what they want. Yes, we do. Speaking of giving the people what they want,
are we back to threesome Thursdays again?
Oh God, not with us.
No,
nobody wants that.
Hell no. Hell no.
I'm out on that one.
My skin crawl.
Biggest fantasy injuries to worry about this week. You still have Christian McCaffrey, who has not practiced yet. He's not
going to play.
And you still got Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is a very questionable.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really care if he plays or not. I don't want to play him, period.
It doesn't matter. I mean, you don't, like I said yesterday, you don't really skip much of a beat when Alexander Madison's on the field.
No, and Dalvin Cook's one of those guys that you should have drafted the handcuff. If you didn't, that's on you. Mm-hmm. But I'm not running out to play either one of them. By the way, do you know what the line on that game is?
On the Minnesota-Carolina game?
Just take a guess at what you think it would be.
Carolina minus, no. I think Minnesota's a favorite.
Carolina's at home.
Yeah. I think Minnesota's like a 2-point favorite.
They are.
Yeah.
Minnesota's a 2.5-point favorite at Carolina. That's dumb.
Well, they saw last week they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles and Sam Darnold didn't look good. And so they're thinking, well, the Vikings could very well do the same thing. I mean, because I can see a path where Sam Darnold is getting harassed a lot. Remember, that offensive line is bad. Mm-hmm. The Carolina offensive line is bad. And on the other side, you've got 2 all-pro edge rushers going after him.
You have one.
Well, Everson Griffin was one, too.
He was never an all-pro.
Was he not?
No, he was a Pro Bowler.
He's a Pro Bowler. Okay. Whatever. You got Danielle Hunter and Everson Griffin going after Sam Darnold behind a Swiss cheese offensive line. Yeah, I can see why.
He was second-team All-Pro. I did not know that.
Yeah, there you go.
Everson Griffin's been to 4 Pro Bowls.
Uh-huh.
The Pro Bowl's so stupid. Why do we still do that?
Why do we still do the Pro Bowl?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Stop. If Everson Griffin's a 4-time Pro Bowler, I should have made 2. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a fine player, don't get me wrong, but he's never been the best pass rusher on his own fucking team.
Yeah. The best Pro Bowl that has ever been was the one that they did on Madden. Because I don't think I got anything out of the ones that they actually played. Mm-mm. But yeah, I mean, Christian McCaffrey being out, Dalvin Cook being out, it relies a lot on the passing games for Minnesota and Carolina.
I don't, for the life of me, understand why Carolina. There are a lot of confusing lines this week. We'll be putting out team or game preview videos today. Mm-hmm. We have changed the branding of those, so they're going to look a little different. Mainly
they look
because
really cool too, by the way.
Mainly because I'm tired of being tethered to my computer, so I found the lazy ass way to do it. From here on out, you're going to see that everything Jeremy does is the lazy way.
No, not lazy. Smart. Work smarter, not harder. When there's only 2 of us and there are 28 videos that have to go out, guess what?
The little preview is not going to get the love. Low key, we're like an AA meeting for sports. Hi, low key. Random question: do you think the coaching situation in Vegas affects the team?
Yeah,
I don't, to the degree that everybody else does.
Okay, explain.
We talked about this on the ESPN Radio show yesterday. We did a power ranking of every coach in the NFL. Mm-hmm. There were some people that, they thought my rankings were pretty good. And others went, Bill Belichick's at, 8? You're stupid. Where would you have had John Gruden on this list? To be really honest, where would you have had John Gruden on this list?
John Gruden would have fallen in about 17.
That's where I think he would have been for me, too.
Right around Cliff Kingsbury, Mike Vrabel.
And I'll be honest with you, if Rich Bisaccia, and I think I spelled his name wrong. I think it's B-I. But
it is.
Well, shit. I mean, how much worse can he be than Urban Meyer, Nick Sirianni, David Culley, Zach Taylor, Matt Nagy, Brian Flores?
He's not.
Probably the worst he could be is right there around Rob Salah. So it's just not that big of a downgrade.
That's where I put him in my power ranking. I immediately put him in front of 7 coaches in the NFL because he can't be that bad.
I just don't think he can be that much of a downgrade.
I think I had him at 26 on my power ranking.
And I'll be really honest with you. I think if he's the Johnny Rah-Rah guy, you can make this an us versus the world mentality thing.
No doubt.
And the Darren Wallers and Derek Carrs, the ones that were really beholden to John Gruden, they can use that as a chip.
Yep.
They're probably my favorite pick this week.
What's the line on that game?
I don't remember the line.
Let me see. I've got it right here. They're 3.5 point dog at Denver. Jesus. Yeah. I got +3 on mine on my list because I think a great.
It's gone up to 4, by the way.
Yeah, you don't have to be a great X's and O's coach.
No, I've always said that's
inspire
overrated.
a team that has been through something like this.
I've always said that the X's and O's thing is overrated. That's for the coordinators. The coordinators. All right, I'll use the team in our market. Is Matt Rule a great X's and O's coach? I would say no.
No, I mean,
But I
think
feel
that
like
most
Joe
of that-
Brady and Phil Snow both are.
Yes.
And so Matt Rule's just the CEO of the team. Rich Bisaccia, everything I have heard about him, and I don't know the guy personally, but everything I've heard is great guy. Everybody loves him. That's
Great
who you should have
motivator.
hired.
Yeah.
That's who you should have promoted when this happened. And I thought it was weird it wasn't Gus Bradley until I thought about it. And I realized, well, Rich Bisaccia has been here with Gruden the entire time. And that makes all the sense in the world. You keep the good of Gruden, and now you've got the chip.
Yeah. And you can be able to rally the troops and say, hey, we got to put this behind us. It's a clean slate. Let's move forward. What it's going to do to the team on the field, I mean, we just don't know.
Hold on,
but
I
it's
have
clear
to-
that last week affected them.
Oh, absolutely. I don't quite know how to say this name. It looks like it's spaghetti. Gonna go with that.
Yeah.
Y'all think Hollywood for Darrell Henderson is worth it? Full PPR. I get Darrell Henderson. Am I overpaying? No. Do that immediately.
Yeah. Smash that.
I mean, if especially if it was sent to you, don't let him change his mind.
Right.
Because he probably will.
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown is like buying lottery tickets. He's going to hit about every fourth one of them. Well, he's done that twice now.
Yeah.
So I do think Baltimore at some point is going to get back to more running. And I have a funny ass feeling it's going to be this week.
Yeah. Darrell Henderson is definitely
I
the
love
one
Darrell
in that.
Henderson. He's the one with a bullet with the Rams. I understand they spent a 4 on Sony Michel, and I thought the same thing.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Darrell Henderson is the better of the two.
Sony
They
Michel.
brought in Sony Michel to be the spellback to Darrell Henderson.
Sony Michel's got 26 rushing yards as his high when Darrell Henderson is in the lineup.
My wife said there's nothing lazy about me. Find you a woman that loves you as much as mine loves me.
Exactly.
And I don't really understand why, because I'm rather unpleasant the vast
The real
majority of the time.
important thing is to find a woman who will lie for you like that. That's
Yeah, that. Matthew Hoffman said,
again,
thanks
it's
for
not
the Khalil
lazy.
Herbert tip.
It's working smarter.
Matt Hoffman said, thanks for the Khalil Herbert tip. I cannot claim to know that I knew Damian Williams was going to get coronavirus.
Yeah.
However, I will say that is the most Damian Williams shit I've ever heard in my life. I wouldn't be shocked if he was out licking doorknobs in Chicago's facility. Not because I have anything against the guy, because he's legitimately the unluckiest fucking person I've ever seen in my life.
Matthew Hoffman says he just got Khalil Herbert off the waivers this week after they put him on the COVID list. Wow.
He lasted that long?
Right. That's a good find in your league.
You should look at the people in your league and go, oh, wait.
Oh, wait. Was she a great big fat
Bad.
person?
I'm just going to start doing that because I can't change the clip.
Right.
She a great big bad person?
Mm-hmm. And Jonathan Welsh wants to know if Amy has a sister.
She does not.
Sorry,
Slasher
Jonathan.
said Nick Sirianni's on the Hugh Jackson route, boys. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yep.
I swear to you, if it wasn't for Urban Meyer, that dude would be getting Kardashian railed on in media today.
Right.
Because he is so fucking bad.
He should be. He should be getting trashed. And somebody said it in the comments earlier. I don't understand why more of the Philadelphia fan base is not booing them. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. It is clearly obvious that Nick Sirianni has no idea how to run an offense. I mean, he has way more of an idea than I do, but even I can look at Miles Sanders and go, "Hey, wait!" When
I don't
you
know
touch,
that I agree with that.
And hey, when
I
you
can't tell you that Nick Sirianni is smarter as a play caller than you would be,
Right.
And I can damn near promise you he's not smarter than I would be, because you don't have to be that smart to go. Let's look at the receiving core of Quez Watkins, who, by the way, I evaluated Quez Watkins, and I actually had him as a draftable receiver. I kind of like the kid.
it was a hell of a catch he made last night.
Yeah, he's just very raw. Mm-hmm. And you're developing him with a quarterback that can't throw, which is dangerous as hell. You look at all those weapons and go, Miles Sanders is better than all of them. Let's give him 10 touches total.
Yeah. If they said it once, I know you don't listen to games with the commentary on.
I don't.
But if they said it once, they said it 100 times last night between Joe Buck and Troy Aikman of why are they not giving him the ball?
Because it doesn't fucking make sense.
Yeah. They said it over and over and over again. Miles Sanders is the best player on this field for the Philadelphia Eagles. Why is he not getting the ball? It doesn't make any sense. Absolutely zero sense.
I'm blatantly curious of something.
I'm blatantly curious as to why Jonathan Welch said he wants a hot dog now.
Because Michael Whiteside said the support is the all-star part of my wife, and I said if I wanted to sell hot dogs by the Civic Center, she would support that.
Okay.
Here's a fun stat on Miles Sanders. Do you know how many touches he has total all year?
Miles Sanders?
Mm-hmm. In now 6 games.
Didn't we do this the other day and it was something like 68 or 70 something?
His 75.
Yeah.
Total.
Yeah.
Total. Mm-hmm. Would you like to know who that falls behind?
Yes.
Alexander Madison has more touches than he does.
And he's only played 2
The
games.
backup in Minnesota.
Right.
DeAndre Swift has more touches than he does. Mm-hmm. And just bear in mind, he's played one more game than all these guys. The other funny part of this, he has less than half the number of touches that Derrick Henry has.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, has 47 more touches than any running back in the NFL. Please keep telling me how I'm wrong about that.
What's he up to?
Because I don't want to be wrong, but I don't want to be right, but I have a feeling I'm going to.
What's he up to? 156? 156.
He has 156 touches in 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
That just sounds dumb when I say it out loud.
Yeah.
And Slasher, Slasher and Justin Parton are 2 of our great Eagles fans, and Robin Ziegler, that old Ziggy's one of our ESPN Radio sponsors. I feel legitimately bad for you. Mm-hmm. I know there are a lot of people that don't like the Eagles and they think the fans and all that shit. I've been to Philadelphia, and I had no negative interaction. I'm a Jets fan going into a stadium in the NFC, so they don't really have a reason to be rude to me.
Right.
But they never were. And I'm looking at the Sirianni hire going, I called this when they hired him. If you remember, the thing I said was this screams of, we told every coaching candidate, you have to make it work with Jalen Hurts because we don't want to look like dumbasses. Well, now you're being set up to be the fall guy.
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni, I mean, this is as predictable as I've ever seen. Nick Sirianni is being set up to be the fall guy because they're going to move off Jalen Hurts at the end of this year, in this offseason, and they're going to look at Nick Sirianni and go, yeah, you're the sacrificial lamb because nobody likes you and nobody cares about you, and away you go. And then you'll hire a good coach and wind up with an actual legitimate quarterback, Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. Today is a good day for Deshaun Watson to become a Philadelphia Eagle.
I'm off that. The Texans just sent him home and went, you play with yourself or something.
Yeah. No hope for a deal before the trade deadline.
It's gotten real quiet.
It has. It
got real loud for about a week, and then it got real quiet.
Right. Maybe if the Philadelphia Eagle fans could figure out that Jalen Hurts is not good at football, they could turn that heat up a little bit on that front office.
Is anybody questioning that at this point? And if I heard that stupid stat one more time about he's the first quarterback in NFL history with blankety blank rushing yards and other.
Yeah, 250 passing yards and 50-plus rushing yards for the first 5 games or 6 games of his career.
Well, first of all,
No,
that didn't happen. Second of all, you do realize that's not a real thing, right? I'm starting to look at stats and go, did you just pull that out of your ass? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, he's got 250 rushing yards and 250 passing yards and 50 rushing yards.
Yeah,
who gives a shit?
Yeah, what do you think the Elias Sports Bureau is?
Yeah, Tom Brady hasn't had 50 yards rushing in a game in his life. You know why? Because he has an arm, and he's a quarterback. He's a real boy.
Right.
Jalen Hurts is not.
No, he's not at all.
Slasher is the first Eagles fan I've heard that would be excited about Deshaun Watson. And that makes me like you even more.
No, I disagree. I think there are Eagles fans that would be excited about it. They're just iffy on whether or not that should
go to
happen.
Twitter, type in Watson Eagles in the search bar, and piss away 20 minutes of your life reading some of the dumbest takes you will ever see in your life.
Okay.
There is a well-known reporter in Philadelphia that will not stop saying Jalen Hurts is actually better than Deshaun Watson.
Oh, my God.
Which, to me, you immediately should be fired from what you do. Like, oh, you're bad at this. Since everybody wanted to call for me to be fired, now I'm going to start doing it. I'm steering into this skid because I'm going to be honest with you, and I mean this to the fiber of my soul. Mm-hmm. I really like being the bad guy. I do.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Razor Ramon. And now I look at it and go, yeah, I can do that. Mm-hmm. I can do that.
Slasher says if they got Watson, it'd make him jump up and down like a 9-year-old on his birthday at Dave & Buster's.
That was why I commented that I think he was the first one that I had seen that was excited about Deshaun Watson, and that makes all the sense in the world to me.
At Dave & Buster's, that's great. Anyhow, big matchups coming up this weekend in the NFL. Obviously, I'm going to be terribly interested in the Los Angeles Chargers Cleveland Browns game. I want to see if they can do it again. I want to see if Cleveland can go toe-to-toe again. Or, I'm sorry, the Cardinals.
I have no idea what you just said to me.
Why?
Because I got very confused.
Were you not listening?
You went straight Eminem and went to Trailer Park Girls Go Round the Outside. And I got lost.
Arizona, Cleveland.
Are you asking me for a pick? What are you after here? I got drunk last night. I need
little analysis would be great. Yeah.
Baker bad, Kyler good. Analysis done.
Really?
Seacrest out.
You don't think Cleveland can do it again, though? That's what I'm looking for, is Cleveland to see if they can hang in again with a team that's probably going to put up 40 on you again.
Curtis Davis asked in the comments if anybody I talked to has news on Fletcher Cox being moved. I'm going to be really honest with you. If the Eagles found a way to move that deal, first of all, they don't want to from everything I've been told. Second of all, because they think he's still, even at his advanced age, he's a cornerstone piece moving forward. That deal is the most convoluted shit I have ever seen in my life. It's got 3 void years in it, and things are paid out late. You'd have to have a dedicated cap strategist just to figure that out.
Right.
And that's actually kind of common. Slasher asking the Jaguars get their first win Sunday.
No,
Could they?
Could
Absolutely.
they? Yeah. I mean,
and that would be the most Jaguar thing in the history of time. Is you go to London, you play a Dolphins team that's exponentially more talented than you.
Right.
And they just don't travel well, and you find a way to beat them. And James Robinson has 214 yards.
You can't win on this continent, but you can on the other one. Hey, let's just move the whole
Let's
damn
just
team.
move to London. Fuck it.
I mean, it's been rumored forever that that's what's going to happen.
Slasher said, please take Fletcher Cox.
No, I think Tua coming back is going to matter for Miami.
I don't. The Tua thing doesn't matter to me. It's just Jacksonville's so bad. If I thought Urban Meyer would come in and just run James Robinson into the ground, I would say, yeah, they have a shot at winning this game.
Yeah.
Do I think that's going to happen? No.
I mean, they'll be without Devontae Parker. He didn't make the trip for the Dolphins.
Oh, I'm sure. And Curtis said, I'm sure the Chargers have a cap strategist. Every team does. and I'm pretty good at it. When you can confuse the piss out of me, you have a convoluted deal. Mm-hmm. The terms of his deal, just the cliff notes of it, is over a page. For posterity's sake, most of them are less than a paragraph. It's usually 4 sentences to explain, offset language or anything like that.
Yeah.
Fletcher Cox's is over a page. And I get it's not the first time we've done this. Every time I look at it, I go, yeah, that's above my head. Mm-hmm. That's too much for me. I don't want to. And then I take my bang and I go have a smoky lung treat outside.
Nice. Who's your big fantasy stud this week?
Are we talking DFS, season long?
Who's going to have a big day? You don't need to complicate it.
Okay. Aaron Jones is one that I'm really high on this week.
Okay.
Against the Bears. Mm-hmm. Because for whatever reason, people are starting to think this Bears team's good, and I think Green Bay's about to show them, no, the fuck you're not.
I don't really think the Bears team is good. It's just that the defense is good. Or the front of the defense is good. Back half of the defense is bad.
Really bad teams, it's good. They can get after quarterbacks against bad offensive lines. Mm-hmm. And Khalil Mack absolutely hates the Raiders, so that was very predictable. Now, I didn't think it was going to matter because I didn't think they could score points. But I like Aaron Jones a lot this week. I like Jonathan Taylor a lot this week. Mm-hmm. Anything that wears a horned helmet.
A horned?
A horned helmet.
Oh, the LA Rams?
Yeah, if you play for the LA Rams, I'm probably pretty high on you. Except Robert Woods. Robert Woods gets fucked seemingly 4 out of 5 weeks.
Well, even after last week?
No, because he's going to draw James Bradbury. And I'll give you $1 if you can tell me who their slot corner is. For the New York Giants, who they play this week.
No clue.
I'll get there.
So it's Cooper Kupp?
I'm all over Cooper Kupp this week.
As you should be.
Darnay Holmes.
Darnay Holmes.
There's
only been one receiver.
I like Kupp a lot this
There's
week.
only been one receiver so far this year that's put up a 100-yard day against the Giants. You know who it is?
No, I don't.
Terry McLaurin.
McLaurin F1.
Yep. He's the only one. And they have only given up multiple touchdowns to wide receivers once so far this year. And that was last week against the Cowboys. I think Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, I mean, I'm not so sold that James Bradbury is the shutdown guy that everybody thinks he is.
He's very good.
I know he's very good, but what I'm saying is I don't think...
Let me finish the sentence.
Okay.
He's very good against physical receivers. The Calvin Ridleys and shifty little Terry McLaurins of the world will fuck him up. Mm-hmm. Robert Woods ain't one of those. I don't like Robert Woods at all this week.
Okay.
And now Cooper Kupp, all in. Darrell Henderson, all in.
Mm-hmm. And you want nothing for the Giants?
No. Especially with the injuries. And I mean, you're going to be playing the B squad against the Rams. That game could get ugly in a hurry. That's the ugliest game of the weekend, in my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, that could be a fucking bloodletting.
It could be. I mean, I think Kansas City, Washington's going to get ugly.
I do too. I mean, that one ain't going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think Kansas City can do to them what Buffalo did to them.
They won't be able to shut them down. No.
Well, Buffalo didn't shut them down.
Well, they scored, what, 21?
22, I think.
22, yeah.
It's the most points the Bills have given up all year, which is comical to me. The most points you've given up all year was to the fucking Washington football team.
But the football team just got picked apart by Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
What do you think Patrick Mahomes is going to do?
Oh, he's going to crush them. Have no fear.
They don't have an answer for Travis Kelce. They don't have an answer for Tyreek Hill. I like all the Chief things in the passing game this year.
Michael Whiteside asked for a cash cow DFS lineup.
Okay.
I will give out another one of these. The one last week went quite swimming. I haven't actually done DFS things yet, so I will do this live on the air.
Okay. This should be a fun little experiment.
Because there's 3 running backs I want a lot. Jonathan Taylor, who's cheaper than he should be.
Khalil Herbert.
Khalil Herbert,
He's got to be cheap.
he's 4,600, and he's the only running back on the team, and I could see him getting loose.
Has there been a big...
He wasn't one of the ones that I was going to say, because he's one of those players that, one of the things that I think people get fucked up in DFS is they think just because a cheap guy's going to get a lot of tote that it means he's valuable. It depends.
But when he's going up against a bad defense,
And he's on a bad offense.
which kind of lends to him getting more carries against a bad run defense.
No, because you're completely spitting in the face of game script. How do you think this game goes?
Oh, I think Green
That should
Bay
be your
is-
first question about every game before you put anybody in your lineup. Is how's this game going to go?
I think Green Bay is going to control the game.
Green Bay's going to be up 17-0 at the end of the first quarter, right?
Could be.
That's how I think it will
Yeah.
go. What goes away when you're down by 3 scores?
With
The
Justin
running
Fields,
game.
though?
It doesn't matter. You're not. If you're down 30, you're not just going to sit here and run damn toss sweeps at them.
Oh, I get that.
That's one of the things that's been so just obviously apparent about Justin Fields is that you get behind, and I know you're throwing, especially with his just aversion to using his feet.
Right.
That's when things get really sideways. I'm not against Khalil Herbert, and for this exercise, I will try to get him in here.
Because I think this could be
that I will.
this could be another week. What's the correction? Has there been a price correction on Alexander Madison?
Oh God, yeah. Madison's like the 8th. Oh, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's the 12th highest running back on the slate. He's only 1,500 cheaper than Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, even if Cook doesn't play, I still don't want to play him. I'm
Against
good.
that Carolina defense.
I'm
yeah.
good. I don't. That's just not how I see this game going.
Right.
For posterity's sake, I'm going to leave Khalil Herbert in for the moment.
Okay.
Keep talking about other games. I'll keep
You're
doing
gonna-
this. And
One game that I'm obviously going to be targeting as well is the Chargers-Baltimore game. I mean, Baltimore just seems to be locked in these battles. And when they went up against a team that couldn't score in the Detroit Lions, they didn't score either. And then you get into shootout games with Kansas City and this past week where you had to come back against the Indianapolis Colts. I think the Chargers game is
That's
gonna
the
be
game of the week.
very, very high scoring.
That's the game of the week to me, without a doubt.
I mean, you got two of the young gun quarterbacks in the NFL going head to head against each other, and I've seen this line used a lot, or the game note used a lot about how the Chargers are not great against rushing teams. Well, Baltimore hasn't been doing that.
Very limited.
Right. I mean, they had to go for it. They had to go for the extended record on the last play of the game against Denver. And then against the Colts, they didn't have a choice. They had to continue to throw the ball. I think it's going to be the same thing against the Chargers. Everything's going to be in the passing game for them. I'm obviously going to be looking at Mike Williams to have another big day, because Justin Herbert's going to throw it to somebody.
The game script of this game to me is, I think a lot of people think this is going to get very shootouty. I'm not sure that's how this goes.
Okay.
This is where I could see Greg Roman going not full correction back to where they were. I'm not saying that Lamar Jackson's going to throw it 22 times in this. I think if you walk into this with the thought that I'm going to shoot out with Lamar Jackson against Justin Herbert, I could almost guarantee you're going to lose. I don't care that you're at home. I don't care that it's West Coast team coming east. I don't care about any of those things. I just don't give a shit. You're not going to shoot out with him. So how can you beat them? Keep the fucking ball away from him.
Yeah.
Keep their defense on the field where they're, and this is a team that's built to do that. Rob Johnson asked in the comments, Rams defense or Steelers this week? Rams over everybody. They're my number one defense of the week. the dead New York Giants and the I don't ever pay up for defenses on DraftKings, and I would seriously, if the Rams weren't so damn expensive, I would consider paying up for them.
Yeah.
But they are, and I won't.
Yeah, they'll have a backup running back. They'll have Kadarius Toney, obviously, is going to get a bunch of looks. Daniel Jones, he was in the what they call stage 4 of the concussion protocol yesterday. He was able to have a non-contact practice. So it looks like he's probably going to be cleared to play. So at least they don't have to worry about playing Mike Glennon. And it looks like Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton are both going to come back this week. So they will have more weapons, but Kenny Galladay's not going to play. Not that he's been terribly great to begin with.
Kadarius Toney's the only part of that offense that I have any interest in.
It's hard not to. After what he's shown in the last 2 weeks, it's clear that he has become. Would you say he's got to be the number one option for them now? Because it was Shepard before.
Absolutely. He's the number one option.
Do you think that sways L.A. to put Jalen Ramsey on him?
No, because I don't know that I don't know that you're not wasting Jalen Ramsey that way. I don't think you have to. Shadowing guys is not always the best recipe for success.
Right.
I could see Jalen Ramsey playing a side this week. Okay, let Kadarius Toney have his. We'll throw somebody in the flat because he's not going to be run. He doesn't tend to run a lot of deep routes. He's one of those guys just get the ball in his hand and let him do what he does. Could I see him doing it? Sure. Do I think he's going to shadow him? No.
No. I don't think he shadowed very much this year to begin with.
Ooh.
He kind of moves all over. What? Did you just find a spicy?
I have a DraftKings lineup that I'm a big fan of.
Okay. Give it to us.
DraftKings does not pay us, so as a show of gratitude for this, I don't see how it doesn't cash lineup.
Yep.
Go to betus.com, use our promo code Sportsocracy. They'll give you 125% on your initial deposit in free play doll hairs, which means if you deposit $100, they will give you $225 that you can use to play our picks over the course of the weekend, and they pay us a lot of money when you do that. And we greatly appreciate you, every one of you. I have come up with a DraftKings lineup that I don't see how it doesn't cash.
Okay.
Joe Burrow's my quarterback.
Yep.
And he's stacked with Jamar Chase, which until they correct the price on Jamar Chase, I'm just going to keep doing it.
What's his price?
$6,700.
That's dumb.
He's $2,000 cheaper than Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Who I want, but I can't get him in this lineup.
Yeah, I think at this point they've got to bring him up to like that 7,800.
But he
level.
should be much higher than he is.
Yeah.
The other two receivers are Cooper Kupp and Keenan Allen. Running backs are Jonathan Taylor, Khalil Herbert, and DeAndre Swift. The defense is the Houston Texans, and the tight end is Ricky Seals-Jones.
Ricky Seals-Jones.
A tight end whisperer. I'm telling you, just what got abused by the Buffalo Bills when they played the Kansas City Chiefs. Who did they abuse? Your little boyfriend, Daniel Sorensen. You know why? Because he's probably the worst starter in the NFL.
Yeah.
And Ricky Seals-Jones is going to do it too. And Taylor Heineke really likes him.
Yep.
We do this every year with Ricky Seals-Jones, where he goes through like a 4-week period where he's a tight end one. Well, here we are. We're doing it again.
Enjoy your cup of coffee this year in fantasy football, Ricky Seals-Jones. That sounds like a hell of a lineup. I'm definitely going to be on Khalil Herbert, I think, in my DFS lineups this week.
I don't necessarily want to be on him. I'm curious what the ownership percentage is going to look like. Let me look that up. I think it was Curtis Davis said this in the comments. The Chargers keep everything in front of them. That's why I think you could see that grinded out with Latavius Murray and Lamar Jackson and things like that. I don't love Hollywood Brown this week at all, or Devin DuVernay or anybody like that.
Right. I think Cincinnati is. It's one that I've been struggling with this week. You do realize that the Detroit Lions, they're not god-awful defensively. And they've been pretty decent against the pass the last few weeks. In the last 3 weeks, they're like the 11th best passing defense in the NFL. Now, is that to say that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase aren't going to have a lot of fun together? Of course they do. They've done it every week. But I don't know that it's as wide open as everybody seems to think it is.
My metric has Devontae Booker as higher owned than Khalil Herbert. If you could guarantee me that, I would be all over Khalil Herbert.
Yeah.
Spaghetti asked in the comments, thoughts on Calvin Ridley, sell or hold? If I have him, I'm holding. If I don't have him and somebody in my league is selling, I will buy all of it. Because right now you could get him for a massive discount, and I just don't think that. I don't think we have seen what he's going to be. And they're on a bye this week, and if you look at what they get after the bye, the Dolphins, the secondary's not great. It's talented, but it's not great.
No.
Panthers, Saints, Cowboys, Patriots, Jaguars, Buccaneers, Panthers. But then you look in the thing that would scare me about Calvin Ridley is in the playoff weeks, he plays the Bills. And I don't like that at all.
No. I think he's probably going to be the most disappointing fantasy player this year.
No.
Why?
No. Most disappointing fantasy player?
Okay, maybe not the most, but
There you
one
go.
of the most.
There you go, hyperbole. We don't do hyperbole around here.
How about one of the most
I
disappointing?
don't think he will be.
Oh, you think he could still finish as a wide receiver one?
Let's just look, shall we? In PPR right now, Calvin Ridley is not good.
He's in the 60s?
No, he's not. He's 38, and he missed a fucking game.
38? Okay.
If he had not missed that game, he would be in the teens. Because it was against the Jets, for one. Yeah. Calvin Ridley's a guy that if somebody wants out, I'll gladly get in.
Okay.
Can I tell you he's going to be a top 12 PPR receiver by the time the year's over? No. I can also tell you that as of right now, if you're just looking at points per game, he is right there with Sterling Shepard and Emmanuel Sanders, Brandon Cooks, Adam Thielen, and Keenan Allen. All these people that are, jerking themselves sideways to get in on.
Yeah.
And people are bailing water on Calvin Ridley. That doesn't make any sense to me. He would be a buy for me.
Okay.
And just for throwing this out there of what I would offer for him. All right, he's receiver 38. If somebody was willing to go Cortland Sutton, Myles Gaskin, that's somebody I've been trying to get. I don't have him on any roster, but I've been trying to use him as, hey, he's going to have one good week, and you should bail out on that like it's on fire.
Right.
If somebody would do, and trust me, there are more people that would do that than you think. Because Cortland Sutton's been real good, and there's this, or at least there's this thought that he has. Points per game, Calvin Ridley actually scores a point higher a game than Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
So for me, that's somebody I'm going to jump all over.
Cortland Sutton's definitely not one that I would be trusting for this week, at least.
Rob Johnson asked, is Devontae Smith not that good, or is it Jalen Hurts can't get him the ball? There's two massive problems with Devontae Smith. The first one is exactly what you just said, is that Jalen Hurts is just not that good, and he can't get him the ball. Here's the other problem. Let me pull this up. Devontae Smith snap counts he's playing 90% of the snaps. They're throwing a copious amount. This is just a theory I had last night because I'm trying to figure out why on God's green earth Nick Sirianni would run so little. I don't know that he thinks he can. Think about the receivers. Quez Watkins is slight. Devontae Smith's the slightest receiver I've ever seen. Jalen Reagor isn't real big. Zach Ertz is not a great run blocker and never was. Dallas Goedert is not either. That's the only thing I can figure is he's looking at the personnel going, we have to be a heavy passing team, which is it's dumb, but would at least be a rationale because I don't have one of those.
Right.
Loki asked, how do you feel about Henry Ruggs?
Not great.
No, I don't agree with you. It's in what context? What does he have to be for you? Because he's got. How do I feel about Henry Ruggs? I feel like he's another version of Hollywood Brown. That's what deep threats do. Jalen Waddle, same thing.
Yeah.
These guys, hell, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's just a really high version of it. Deep threat guys are victims of the defenses they play. If you get teams like the Houston Texans that put 2 safeties back on every play, yeah, the deep threat receivers are not going to have great games against that. That's why Paris Campbell this week, not somebody I'm interested in. Yeah. Michael Pittman, on the other hand, Michael Pittman's somebody I will shoehorn into every lineup that I possibly can. Because physical receivers screw up too deep secondaries like that.
Yeah.
How do I feel about Henry Ruggs? He's going to be a matchup play. He's a situational wide receiver 3 to me. I don't. The Greene thing didn't hurt him to me because I think the offense is going to stay very, very similar to what it was. They may run more with Bisaccia than they did with Greene now. And hopefully somebody that gets on the sideline for the Las Vegas Raiders can go, hey, we spent a first-round pick on Josh Jacobs. Maybe we should fucking give him the ball.
It's not a great matchup for that this week, though. Going up against Denver.
Spaghetti asked Sutton versus Hollywood. I don't know if you're asking which one I would trade or which one I would want. I would rather have Cortland Sutton and I would trade Hollywood Brown aggressively. However, if I could find a way to get Amari Cooper or Calvin Ridley, who we were talking about earlier, for Cortland Sutton and something else, I'd do it.
Or are you talking about should you play him this week? Is that a lineup question?
Playing him this week, it's Cortland Sutton. It's not even close. Like Curtis Davis so elegantly said earlier, the Chargers do not let things go over their heads. Yes, they gave up a lot of points. How many of those were big plays to wide receivers? Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Connor Rhodes, we're like an AA meeting for sports.
What's up, Connor?
Hi, Connor. Still trying to figure out where the fuck the camera is. Traded Dawson Knox to get Amari Cooper, have Waller as my starter, win or loss. Oh, hold on. Let's ask Charlie Sheen.
Wow, winning.
Aggressively. I like Dawson Knox. People are going to get up in arms about Dawson Knox, and I don't think you should.
I've heard the comparison made that he's this year's Robert Tonyan, and I don't know that that's not true.
That makes sense.
Right.
The only difference in him is that he's going to have a lot of yards, and he won't be as touchdown dependent. The problem is that tight ends that are yardage getters outside of Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, George Kittle, and to an extent TJ Hawkinson, they're matchup dependent.
Right.
Spaghetti said I have Hollywood, Sutton, and Ridley. That was a happy little accident.
That's fun.
Curtis Davis, what do you think the problem with Odell and Baker is? Baker's not good. That's the biggest problem. Odell Beckham at this point has had so many injuries that he's not the guy he used to be, and he's just not gonna be. Like I laughed at this in the offseason if people were just throwing dirt on Odell, like, oh, they're dead. No, he's not dead. He's just not a wide receiver 1 anymore. Much love, Connor Rhodes. And yes, we 100% believe that was a win for you. We are going to start doing Grade the Trades next week. We've just, with the new studio, we're working on a schedule. So if there's content that you would really like to see, let us know and we'll try our damnedest to shoehorn it into a day.
Right.
Because we can't figure out how much fantasy content people want versus other things, and input from you is greatly appreciated.
Like the trade I got sent earlier this week by our wonderful Sportsocracy producer, Scott Cutshaw, who said somebody offered him Christian McCaffrey for Cordero Patterson. I'm all the way in.
It's staggering to me how bad some people are at trading in fantasy football.
I can't say anything.
Dude, man, bro, we're like an AA meeting for sports. Good to see you, dude, man, bro.
Dude, man.
Should I be worried about Chris Godwin? No. That Tampa Bay offense is going to be bootsy at times. And here's what I mean by that. They're going to be. Tank came in, gloating. Are you ready to come off that Antonio Brown take? I didn't say he was undraftable. What I said is he's going to be inconsistent. And guess what he's been? Inconsistent. Chris Godwin will be slightly more consistent, but then he's going to have a nice like he had last night, where you kind of forget he's on the field for an extended period of time.
Right. And he was that way last year. I mean, he felt like he was that way most of the time last year. I won't say it was all the time, because he did have his games where he popped. But that's how this is going to be.
The thing people have to get away from is the thought that because Chris Godwin plays so much in the slot, that instantaneously means that him and Brady are just going to be all up each other's asses. It's just not true.
No.
The reason he did that in New England is because that was the system they ran in New England. Now he's got Mike Evans on the outside. He's got AB on the outside. He can throw to outside receivers. I've always thought there was this little narrative that Tom's so in love with slot receivers that it's going to be so great for Chris Godwin. I don't know that Tom's any better for Godwin than Jameis Winston was.
Statistically, he's worse.
Because Jameis really likes slot guys. He did that at Florida State, and that's how he got Rashad Greene drafted. By the way, just a reminder, Michael Thomas is coming back next week. Why do you think I own Michael Thomas in every fucking league I'm in? Loki said, love the power rankings you guys do. You're more realistic than other sites. We appreciate that greatly. Power rankings will be a staple of this show throughout the football season.
Yes.
We love doing that show.
Every Wednesday.
We have two very different ways of grading. Mine is a Vegas take. I'm a gambler, so that's how I look at things, is analytically.
Mine is more emotional, narrative-driven speculation. I have no real rhyme or reason, just how I feel about your team this week.
And there's a merit to that. Yours are just more volatile.
Oh, of course they are. There is no doubt about it. Because, like I said, if the world blows up and Buffalo loses this week, there's no chance I'm going to have them as number one next week. You have already said you don't care, because you'll take them over every team in the league.
Buffalo?
Yeah.
I don't care if Buffalo loses by 50. They'll still be in my top 3 next week. I don't give a shit.
I feel like that's
there is so little volatility. But see, that's the difference between me and many people that do this.
Exactly.
There's not a lot of volatility to me. Alabama, I'll use a college. I'll use a college analogy here.
Right.
Alabama just lost to Texas A&M. Do you all of a sudden think Texas A&M's better than them?
No.
No. If they played 10 times, would you bet Alabama 10 of them?
Oh, yes.
There you go. So why would you have that much volatility in power rankings? I've never understood that. People lose their shit about the most recent thing they've seen. Fluky things happen all the time.
There's no doubt about that.
Rob Johnson asks, who scores more fantasy points this week, Kelsey or Hill? It's going to be Tyreek Hill by a lot. I love Tyreek Hill.
Chuck G's asking about the college football picks for the weekend. We didn't get to them yesterday, and we haven't gotten to them so far, and we're gonna.
Yeah.
We're gonna. Do we just want to hang in here and do it, or we're gonna do it as a separate? Because it's time. It's that time. It's 11 o'clock.
Well, we're gonna put those. We're gonna bit those out and put them out. So we're gonna try this 2 different ways. So next week we will do college picks in the live stream. We can't figure out. So the YouTube algorithm is a bitch, and I don't. This is not what I do. I'm learning YouTube things as I go. So that's the reason that we just adamantly say, those of you that watch us every morning, when you see those things go out, please watch them.
Yes.
The views are so golden to us because we're so new at this, and the new studio threw off our live schedule. So now YouTube's trying to figure out what we do. So that's kind of why things have been a little different this week than they will be moving forward. Is because we're trying to figure out what everybody wants so that you'll know exactly when shit comes out. We'll be able to schedule it out. You'll be able to click notifications and things like that, and the hope that it will make it easier to find the content. These lives get buried under 400 pounds of dirt for 36 hours after we do them. And in sports, that means by the time they're findable, they're not timely anymore.
Right.
So we're trying to figure all of those things out, but college football picks, we're going to record. Here's how I think we do this.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I have a better idea.
Okay.
At lunch, we'll record this, and we'll make it not public. So it'll only be for people that are subscribed to the channel.
There you go.
So those of you, if you want to come in and watch it, feel free. If not, we'll bid it out, and we'll put it out Saturday morning like we usually do.
Yep. So we'll
And
have
that
the
will allow us
individual.
to actually eat food, because if I don't eat food, I'm going to die.
And we got to let some of the heat out of the studio.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is that there's no air conditioning in the studio right now. And if we're in here for an extended period of time, I will actually burst into flames.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Chuck G, we will have your college football betting picks. We're not going to forget about them. We will get them in.
That'll let me do the graphics for them, too, and we can make this look better. And then I don't have to do all the things in post, which I'm still learning to do.
There we go. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us here on a Football Friday. Of course, we will have more of your weekend preview coming up this afternoon on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400 locally in the Asheville area. Of course, you can hear it everywhere you go, live or on demand on the iHeartRadio app.
Before we get out of here, I want to ask this question. I want the people that are still in the stream to answer it in the comments. I'll leave the stream up for a couple minutes after this is over. Do you like the more interactive things like this? Because we can steer into this skid. This is way easier for us. And it's a lot more fun because it feels like we're having a conversation with you. Mm-hmm. So that's real fun for us. If it's not what you like, just let us know. And so in the comments, I'm going to leave the stream up for a few minutes after we do this. I'll come back and check the comments, and we'll take these things into account, and we'll have a schedule out over the weekend of when things are going to go out.
Yep. Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene this afternoon at 3 on ESPN. Asheville, of course, we will have your full Sunday preview coming up here Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. We go 11 to 1 with last-minute fantasy tips, weekly rankings, matchup breakdowns, gambling picks, over-unders, spreads, everything here on Sunday mornings. Be sure to tune in for that. 11 o'clock every Sunday morning here in the Wicked Weed studio. And we'll see you again with the college betting picks right around lunchtime today.
Yep,
so be sure to subscribe to the channel so you get all of our content as it comes out. Only subscribers will get that full video. Otherwise, you'll have to wait till Saturday morning when they come out game by game here on the YouTube channel. So hit the subscribe button, like, share, follow, all that good stuff. We cannot thank you enough for all of the support. And like I said, we will see you next time.
If you want to